Speaking about Dajjal, and these will be my last questions, inshallah. Do we have evidence of the time he was created first? Can we find any evidence which points out to when was he created?
The only thing to which we can turn to answer this question is the statement of our Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, who said, every prophet has warned his people about the Dajjal. And the Prophet Noah, alayhi salam, warned his people about the Dajjal. And so from this hadith, we will know that Adam alayhi salam knew about the Dajjal. Whether the Dajjal was already created or not, the hadith does not tell us. But the knowledge about the Dajjal is present there from the very first Prophet of Allah.
Right. When Isa ibn Merjem, the Messiah, will come back inshallah, how exactly will Allah deal with Gog and Magog?
Nabi Isa alayhi salam, the Prophet Jesus, will descend according to Nabi Muhammad alayhi salam, descend from above with his hands resting on the wings of two angels. And he will descend in a masjid in Damascus. I have written a book entitled The Messiah, the Messiah, the Quran, and Akhirul Zaman. And in that book I devote some time to this subject. What happens when he returns? I advise the listening, the viewing audience to read that book. After he kills Dajjal, then we learn about the Messiah now becoming Hakim al-Adil, a just ruler. Our Prophet, Allah's blessing be upon him, prophesied that he will be a just ruler and that he will rule from Jerusalem. But our Prophet also said, كيف أنتم إذا نزل عليكم ابن مريم وإمامكم منكم. That at that time when Jesus returns, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, we will have an imam over this ummah, and therefore a khilafah state restored. And I cannot see that khilafah state established with its capital other than Mecca. The reason why we had a khilafah state in Medina is because Mecca drove us out. That is why. Otherwise, the khilafah state in Mecca. So we have, from these two hadiths, we have a khilafah state in Mecca. And Nabi Isa alayhi salam is not sent to this ummah. Twice in the Quran, Allah says that he is Rasulan ila Bani Israel. Ya Bani Israel, inni Rasulullah ilaykum. He is not sent to this ummah. He is sent to them, Bani Israel, and he is Hakim al-Adil. So there is a Khilafah state in Jerusalem as well. And this is the ruling state in the world, not that one in Mecca. At that time, when he returns, however, and he goes to Jerusalem, Jerusalem first has to be cleared of Gog and Magog, because Gog and Magog control power in Jerusalem. That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
So he goes up a mountain with the believers, and life is difficult, and the mountain is surrounded by Gog and Magog. But he then prays to Allah to destroy them, and Allah then wages biological war on them. And they attack at the top of the spine by maybe a virus. And because their immune system is already demolished, when they are attacked by this virus, they have no defense, none. And by next morning, they're all dead. First of all, they fall down paralyzed. And by next morning, they're all dead. And their bodies begin to decompose and smell. And then Allah sends big birds with necks like camels, prehistoric birds. And these birds pick up these bodies and dump them where they are to be dumped. That is the final end of Gog and Magog. But before the final end of Gog and Magog, there is the second Karn of Karnejn. The second Karn of Karnejn results in Gog and Magog being checkmated in the north. So no more Gog and Magog could come south. No more. When the second Karn of Karnejn takes place. The only Gog and Magog that will be left in the world will be those already in Jerusalem. So when Allah destroys Gog and Magog in Jerusalem, there are no more Gog and Magog in history. Whatever they are, Gog and Magog, they are checkmated by Dhul Karnejni, the second Karnejn. When Allah destroys the world, they will be destroyed.
Okay. And this is the last question. Actually, this answer leads us to this question. You have not identified Dhul Karnejni in its second impact on history with anyone. Can we say that it is the system of Isa ibn Merjem combined with Imam al-Mahdi which can be identified to this Dhul Karnejni?
When I lecture in public in France, there are some things I cannot say. So I had to stop. I could not go on publicly to identify Dhul Karnejni, second Karn. But this is not in public.
No, we can see whether.
Yeah, this is for the internet. So what I could not say at the masjid in Louisiana, I can say it now. The second Karn of Karnejn must take place, because that's why Allah referred to him as Dhul Karnejni. The first Karn of Karnejn occurred thousands of years before the Quran was revealed. The second Karn of Karnejn did not occur as yet when the Quran was revealed, and since the Quran was revealed. Right. No human being, not Alexander who died thousands of years ago, not Cyrus or Darius who died thousands of years ago and is gone from history, will not return. No human being can be Dhul Karnejni because no human being lives for thousands of years. But if the sheep and the cattle and the goats and the camel insist that Dhul Karnejni is Alexander or Cyrus or Darius, let the sheep and cattle do what they want. It's not important for history. It's not important for scholarship. What is scholarship? Is to recognize that Dhul Karnejni is someone who impacts on history twice. And since no human being can live for a few thousand years, Dhul Karnejni cannot be someone in history. He's not a historical personality. So I would say perhaps a transcendental being, but that's not important to me. That is not important to me. If it's important for you, you go and solve your problem and buy a bottle of Tylenol tablets for your headache. Now then, we now come to the second Karn of Karnejn. When Gog and Magog are going to be checkmated for the second time. And we said that since Dhul Karnejni traveled in the direction of the setting of the sun, and it came to the sea, to the Black Sea, and that is where we the one experienced the Dhul Karnejni for the first time, where power emerged in the region of the Black Sea. Power resting on the foundations of faith, and that power was used to resist the oppressor, to punish the oppressor, to punish those who are wicked, committing acts of injustice, and that power was used to help the people who are righteous and have faith, reward them for their faith and righteousness and help them. When the second Karn of Karnejn is to come, it is to that region of the world we must direct our attention. When will we see power emerging in that region of the world which will have this profile? When we do the homework, we find that there are several candidates since the revelation of the Quran. The first significant candidate was the Ottoman Empire. The second significant candidate was the Soviet Union. And now today we have a third significant candidate, which is a Russia, which is returning to her Christian heart. We say Gog and Magog could not have, Dhul Karnejni could not have come in the second Karn of Karnejn with the Ottoman Empire. Why? The Ottoman Empire, number one, was an oppressor. Number two, the Ottoman Empire vanished from the world, while we still are in Akhirul Zaman, and Gog and Magog have still not been checkmated. So the Ottoman Empire does not qualify. But if any fool wants to declare his Ottoman Empire, leave him in his foolishness. The Soviet Union could not be the second Karn of Karnejn, because the Soviet Union had power, yes, but power resting on the foundations of atheism, godlessness. So we see now that Russia is returning to her Christian heart. And Russia is resisting the oppression of the West. When Russia recovered Crimea in 2014, then for the first time, Russia commanded the entire Black Sea. So I gave a lecture in 2014 from Malaysia, which is 11 years ago, that the world is now witnessing the commencement of the second Karn of Karnejn.
Thank you, Sheikh. This was my final question. Maybe I can add something on a personal level. What do you think of the future of Islamic eschatology?
Our Prophet, Allah blessing be upon him, said, "My ummah is like the rain. It is not known which shower is better, the first or the last. I hold the view that the last shower of rain, while it has a military part of it, must also have an intellectual part of it. Afghanistan knows how to fight, but Afghanistan doesn't have the knowledge. The Islamic resistance in Gaza, they call themselves Hamas. They know how to fight, but they most certainly don't have the knowledge. So while we do have our evidence already that this is the Akhirul Zaman, and we can see the last shower of military rain beginning to fall, the way we fought in Afghanistan, the way we fought in Gaza, we do not yet see the last shower of intellectual rain. But I can see ahead of me that the last shower of intellectual rain in this ummah will not come from the mufti, will not come from the economist, will not come from the political scientist. It will come from the eschatologist. The Islamic eschatology is destined to be the brightest light of all in this ummah in the end time.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. آمين.